Hey there, Zam here from NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of the Tulsa King Season 3, Episode 5, On the Rocks. Or was it Off the Rocks? Can't really remember. And I apologize for this review coming out so late, but such is life. So, Dwight Manfredi, he is still having his back and forth with the Dunmires, and now the Dunmires are only offensive as Dwight has the 50, aka the old school bourbon whiskey. Dwight is going to set up an event in this particular episode where he promotes the whiskey to the masses. But Dunmire still has some aces up his sleeves. That being the local government, where he's going to use them to send in a health inspector to shut down Dwight's event. But Dwight himself has some problems with the government himself, a different part of the government, the FBI, so to speak. Because the watchkeeper, aka the assassin who blows people up, decides to get in touch with Manfredi after doing some research on him, realizes that Manfredi is a legit gangster and is happy to do business for him. But Manfredi doesn't want to do this a meeting, which the watchkeeper wants to do today. But Musso insists, Musso being the FBI, insists that Manfredi does it. Musso is having Manfredi's phone tapped so he knows when the watchkeeper did call him. And Manfredi has to basically balance the event for the whiskey as well as having to deal with this other guy for the sake of the feds. And people are starting to ask questions now. Where the hell does Dwight keep going? Keeps disappearing, keeps going away from important things, leaving his understudies in charge of everything. But I gotta get his name right, by the way. Bill. I was calling him Frank, aka Frank Grillo, in my last episode, but Bill is also wondering as well because his guys back in New York basically want him to betray Dwight, and he tells Dwight this, that he wants that New York wants me to betray you for the sake of the whiskey and all the businesses that you run. And in a way, maybe Bill is doing this in order to get into Dwight's good side, but at the same time, by even confessing that he's going to betray him, even though he thinks that Dwight might not believe that's the case, he might still betray Dwight. Even if even if he told Dwight that I was told to betray you, he might still do it, hoping that Dwight would have his guard down, thinking that Bill wouldn't. It's all very up in the air. The walls are definitely closing in on Dwight, with so many elements and people around him, because even his allies, like Bill, have issues with Dwight. I mean, they have a very rocky relationship, and you see it in this episode. Fresher is using Margaret to get his chances of being governor over the line. We're seeing that during the course of this episode. And Tyson himself is wanting to understand more about what it means to be a man by asking Dwight when he gets the opportunity questions about what it means to be a man. But at the same time, he catches Dwight on two different occasions before Dwight has the meeting with Musso and after he has the meeting with Musso, and Dwight's sort of mindset kind of changes regarding not only being a man, but who you can trust and who you can rely on. And sometimes how, regardless of what you try to do in life, life finds a way of maybe dealing you cards that not necessarily helps you in life, such as what was happening with Dwight right now. That regardless of him trying to have a better life, the man, the FBI, the man themselves, are ruining his life, and so much so that people are questioning where his loyalty lies, what he's been up to, and he's trying to keep all of that stum. Nobody knows within his circle. Nobody knows, and he's too afraid to let anyone know. So he's keeping his cards close to his chest. But I will say this: when he did have his meeting with the watchkeeper, he did pay the guy to take out Dunmire. He paid him $250,000. Uh, I think maybe $500,000 actually. He may have paid him $250,000 up front and then another $250,000 to after the job is completed. And Dwight was happy to pay that. He's got a shitload of money on him. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. Will the gang ever find out that Dwight was working with the feds? I don't know. And talking about working with the opposition, Spencer, the lady played by Sylvester Stallone's daughter, she finally finds out who this Cole guy is. But the reality is, they really did a bad job of stretching this particular story arc out, because she saw Cole for who he is the moment Dunmire came along and intervened at the event by bringing in law enforcement to shut down the event. But prior to all of that, even there was a moment with a health inspector who came along, and he was basically paid by Dunmire to shut down the event by making shit up. And Bigfoot accidentally kills this guy by dropping barrels on his head. It was a very funny moment. Now, what Dwight and the gang are going to do is basically say that this was an accident and hope they can get away with that. We'll see how that pans out next week. You know, if the particular government official um, doesn't get the gang into trouble by being killed at Dwight's location, and then them claiming it to be an accident. We'll see how all of that pans out. But as I said earlier, the walls are closing in. People are wanting to know what Dwight is up to. The Dunmires are coming after him. The Italians are coming after him to a degree. Bill is coming after him. Musso, the government, is coming after him. It's not looking good for Dwight to a degree, but he always seems to be a cool customer with one step ahead. And he's not called a general for nothing. He's able to work out plans and organize things. It's a delight to see when he puts his mind to use. But at this particular moment, the ball is now back into Manfredi's court after the Dunmires ruined the event that Dwight was holding by bringing in the old Bill, aka the cops. Great episode once again. I am interested to see where Cole and his dad, played by Robert Patrick, where their relationship goes, because Robert Patrick is consistently undermining his son, taking the piss out of him. His son is trying to prove things to his dad, and Robert Patrick just says, "Fuck you, you're an idiot, and I'm going to show you how it's done." And we'll see where that pans out. And regarding Spencer and Cole, that's just is over. Like, any infiltration Cole was going to do with Spencer is now done. I mean, Spencer has seen who Cole is and will probably want nothing to do with him. Probably. See how that goes, but I think it's done. Personally. Are we going to get anything more from people like Tyson during the course of the season? Goody, I would love to see more, a little bit more from Goody. I like Goody. He's a good character. No pun intended. As well. Some of the rest of the gang, obviously Bodie, he had a part to play. All of the whole gang is just really cool, and they didn't really do much in this particular episode. Mitch was hardly in it as well. Like, you know, it was really a very heavily portrayed episode of Dwight having to run the business as well as do his FBI stuff as well. So yeah. I give it an 8 out of 10. Just another cracking episode of another cracking show. I can't wait for next week. Bring it on. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest social media channel you never heard of. Take care now. Bye bye.